We've been working with groups of mums over the past year who've been sharing their stories of discrimination with us. They're being discriminated against because they're pregnant, because they're having to go on maternity leave, and because their mum's returning to work.
Honestly, you feel so guilty about coming back to work anyway and having to leave your baby with someone else. It's hard enough. The last thing you need is to be treated like crap.
I knew as soon as I told my boss I was pregnant, I would be viewed as having very little use, and she did not disappoint. I was isolated from the rest of the team and told I was a burden.
My employer sent me 3 separate contracts after I told her I was pregnant, each one contracting me out of my maternity rights, and I was pressured to sign or I'd lose my job.
I felt so alone and isolated. I didn't know my rights. I was told I didn't have any.
Every year in the UK, as many as 54,000 mums feel they have to leave their jobs. Whether during pregnancy, maternity leave, and or on their return to work, 77% of mums say they've had a negative or discriminatory experience at work.
I was discriminated against at work from the point I told my boss I was pregnant to the point of returning to work 6 months later. I constantly had my professional capabilities called into question, and I began to believe that I was useless and no longer capable. It resulted in me leaving a post I'd been in for 5 years, 4 months after returning from maternity. I couldn't cope with feeling so low, isolated and useless. What makes things good for me at work now is being in a place where your mental health and well-being is really valued. Flexible working is a really important aspect of this, but what underpins all of that is really good relationship with my colleagues and with my boss. And those relationships are built on trust and an understanding of the context that you're working in. Being respected as a person with a life and responsibilities is liberating. I work hard and I do a good job and I don't feel useless anymore.